Ryan Little.
Good morning everyone, Aaron from Car Obsession here. So this morning I'm going to be going down to a car meet at the Riverview Cafe in Forest Row. I've been there a few times, but I must confess it's been quite a few weeks, maybe even months since the last time I went there. So we're going to head down there today, but first we're going to have a compulsory McDonald's. Here she comes, but darling. There we are, it's a McDonald's. It's good though. So although earlier in the video I said that we're heading down to Riverview Cafe today to go to a car meet, it's normally all classics, but you do get one or two more modern cars there. But I actually wanted to talk more about my car because I've been doing this channel for about 6 months now, give or take, maybe a little bit longer. But I've never really spoken about my car in great length, why I bought it, how long I've had it, and so forth. So this is actually going to be a separate video. So I will of course do a video for Riverview, but I thought it'd be quite good, well hopefully quite good for me to have a chat about my car really, because it doesn't really get a lot of attention. So if you don't already know, this is a 2006 SEAT Ibiza FR, produces 148 horsepower from a 1.8 turbocharged engine. 0 to 62 miles per hour is 8.4 seconds, although I have had it quicker than that. When I took it to Santa Pod a few weeks back, I was able to get to 60 miles per hour in 7.1 seconds, which is quite impressive. Well, I thought it was impressive anyway, bear in mind that's meant to be around 8.4 seconds. Top speed is, I think it's either 132 or 134, I think it's 134. So yeah, so it's not the fastest hot hatch going. I think some would argue it's not the best hot hatch going, and I'd be inclined to agree with them. So at this point you're probably wondering, well, why did you buy it? Well, when I went to buy this car, I had certain criteria that I needed to fit in order to buy it. So it had to be a certain price, it couldn't be older than 10 years old, and the mileage couldn't be over 100,000 miles. So I did want to have a look at the EP3 Civic Type R. Patsy's a big fan of that. But the problem is I couldn't really find any in my criteria. They were either too old or had too much mileage. So it led me to this really. I did look at the SEAT Cupra, the Ibiza Cupra. Mind you, come to think of it, I also looked at the Leon Cupra as well. But again, the Leon Cupra was too old, and the newer ones were too expensive. So
it was too old by about a year, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so bit of a pickle. I did test a Ibiza Cupra, which went like the absolute clappers. It'd been chipped, so it'd been remapped, so it was pushing, I think it was 235 horsepower, and boy, yeah, that thing really moved. But unfortunately, that didn't seem to, that deal sort of didn't go through. So I ended up with this, which is not a bad compromise by any means. So I've had this about 2 years now. Now, I haven't modified it in any shape or form, although I am playing about with the idea of remapping it. Spoke with a guy called Ollie, who does it, who does remapping for a living. And out of curiosity, I said, well, what can you do with mine? I was expecting only quite a small upgrade in terms of performance. So I gave him my details of the car and so forth, and he came back to me and said, well, I'd be able to give you a car 58 extra horsepower. And I thought, Jesus Christ, I wasn't expecting that much. So that would bring the horsepower up to 205, which is pretty impressive. So I'm still toying about with that idea, because as much I'd love to do that, that feels good on a Sunday morning. As much as I'd like to do that, obviously if you make a car faster, you need to upgrade other parts of the car as well, so it can work out quite expensive. So I'd have to upgrade the brakes. I think I'd probably want to change the suspension, because riding the FR isn't brilliant. You'll probably see whilst I'm filming that it's a little bit bumpy, but obviously, you know, it's a hot hatch, so it's likely to be a little bit bumpy anyway. So I've just realised when I was speaking about the remapping, the figures didn't quite add up. So any mathematicians at home were probably thinking, hang on a minute, 58 plus 148 does not make 205, and the reason for that is when the performance figures were sent over to me, like what the potential performance figures would be, the starting horsepower was 147, not 148. So that's why, if you're sat there thinking, hang on a minute, what he said doesn't make sense, that's why. This car has 148 horsepower, but on the charts and graphs that were sent to me, there was 147, and therefore 147 plus 58 brings you to 205. There we are. You don't need to be a Cal Vorderman to work that one out. Or Rachel Riley. Let's make it a bit more current, shall we? Oh, that Jaguar XK in front is delicious. In white, that looks really nice. Quad exhaust pipes. It's got quite a wide stance to it. So yeah, so I would like to get a sports exhaust for it, because as much as I love this car, I do think it's a bit too muted. And that's one of the things I don't like about the car. Now I'll get onto that a little bit later about what I don't like about the car. But yeah, I would quite like to fit a sports exhaust as well. But the thing is, oh, super impressive there. Well, Joe makes a nice noise. So earlier I spoke about what I don't like so much about this car, and the sound is one of them. The sound is fine, it's just not loud enough. I'm sure you'll agree with that as well.
Yes, I do.
Yeah. Another thing I'm not keen on is the steering. I think for the type of car it is, the steering should be heavier. Now I've actually road tested other cars which aren't sporty, that are just sort of ordinary cars, and even on those the steering feels a bit heavier. The steering is fine enough, it's direct, you know, it does what it needs to, but it just feels a bit light. You know, when I drove BMW M4, I know that's not the greatest car to compare this to, because the M4 is a complete monster of a car, but even for cars like the M240i and the M140i, they had a nice weight to the steering. It felt meaty, it felt, I don't know, it's kind of hard to describe, it just felt right for the car. Whereas this, it just feels too light, and that's one of the other things I don't like about this car. On a more practical kind of basis, this cup holder isn't very convenient, because when you've got it extended, you can't quite work the radio. Now, this is a double DIN unit, so you could quite easily move the stereo from here down to here, which I imagine a lot of Ibiza owners have done. But I think from a factory, I think SEAT should have used their common sense and just put the radio down here, so that when you use a cup holder, it doesn't get in the way. There's another cup holder here, which again isn't too practical, because you sort of have to lean back to get it. But again, I'm talking about practical sense, and that's really it. I can't really think of anything I dislike about this car, in all honesty. Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, it's not the best hot hatch money can buy, but I love it all the same. does look sporty from the outside, but I think a lot of people wouldn't assume it's as fast as it is. And I've had people come up to me on track days and say to me, oh, you know, I wasn't expecting your car to be so fast. And I just said, yeah, it must be the driver. Yeah, right. So yeah, this is a bit of a sheep in a wolf in sheep's clothing.
Sheep in wolf's clothing?
Yeah, that would. Yeah,
Wolf would have eaten the sheep before it got anywhere near his clothes.
So it is reasonably fast, and it is good fun to drive, which is, of course, what you want from a hot hatch. So, as mentioned earlier, the official 0 to 62 time is 8.4 seconds. Well, that might be the 0 to 62. That might be the 0 to 60 time of 8.4 seconds. But either way, 0 to 60 or 0 to 62, 8.4 seconds. But I have got it faster than this, which is impressive. Bearing in mind, this has had no performance modifications on it whatsoever. I think since I've had the car, I've changed 2 tyres. Obviously, I had it serviced and MOT'd. I got a new coolant sensor for it the other week, which was a little bit costly, but it needed to be done. And other than that, I don't think I've had anything else done. Another thing I'm not too keen on is the gear change. Now it's slick enough, it's precise enough, but I think the throw is just a little bit too long than what it should be. What's he doing? Just take random photos like you do. Yeah, it's not bad by any means, but I would like the throw to be a little bit shorter, but either way, still a decent enough gearbox. It's 5-speed manual. When you're cruising about on the motorway like I am now, I would prefer a 6-speed manual, but never mind. It's what it is, really. Go for our destination. So that pretty much concludes my video about my SEAT Ibiza FR. I hope you enjoyed it. Although it was just me sort of rambling on for a few minutes about my car, but hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't done it already, please subscribe for many more videos to come. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, see you soon, guys.